Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Trying to do this live thing again. We're trying to get the hang of it. See if people pop on here. What we're talking about today, what I want to talk about today is how to spot some BS in the numbers on a deal, right? So we had a mobile home park. Nice deal. Very, very nice deal. I think, you may have seen some post about it or some stuff that I shared. And it was kind of a rare find. It was an amazing opportunity, had great cash flow, had good upside on it based off of the numbers that we were sent. Well, obviously when you get into due diligence, you get the actual trailing 12, you're going to get the P&Ls, the profit and loss sheets, the bank statements. We're going to start requesting a lot of this. And then we start diving into this deal, right? We start diving into it, start dissecting it, and doing we're having trouble streaming. All right. Well, looks like we lost LinkedIn, but anyway, let's see. So when you get into these deals, you got to do your due diligence, right? You got to get into them. You got to figure out, the ins and outs, the profit, the loss, exactly what is the NOI? How much is this thing cash flowing? That's what we want to know, because from there, you still got to factor out your debt, your partner splits, or your LP splits, whatever you're paying out. And so I just wanted to go live for a minute and talk about what we found, because I think this might be happening. I know it's always happening, but right now specifically, this might be the reason why some of these deals are still available or what have you. So what I want to do is I want to run over kind of just the basics, and some of this stuff may be very basic for some of you. So if you know what I'm talking about, then comment and help me out. Let's do this together. So in a deal, the one main thing that you got to understand is, all right, so like this. Hopefully you can see this. That is we're going to call that the NOI line, okay? NOI. And so this is the line of NOI. And what separates the NOI is going to be on top would be your income and your expenses, right? And of course, the marker's not working. I'm telling you, invest in some markers around here. See if this will work. Expenses, right? So income and expenses, and this is reoccurring. We'll do it like that. So reoccurring income and expenses is above the NOI, right? And so you got your income minus your expenses equals, let's do equals your NOI, right? And then down here you should be your NOI, which stands for your net operating income. Now, outside of that, so you take net operating income, and then you're going to minus your debt, because remember, NOI never includes debt, okay? And the reason why is because debt, you can't really, what I get debt on and what you get debt on, like it's different. So your net operating income is minus your debt, and then it's also minus your LP. Let's see, LP profit. Let's see. It's minus your LP, which is your limited partner or your investors, your equity investors. I hope you probably can't see this. There we go. So it's your LP, your equity splits, pref, whatever you want to call it. And so then that equals your true net, okay? And so what do you want to look for if you can envision this, sort of the NOI line here. Let's do this. Try to make it color coded. Everybody get a little color in their life this morning. So imagine, above the NOI, you got income minus expenses. And these are reoccurring. So these should be reoccurring income and expenses. And that should equal your NOI, right? Well, here's something that you got to look for. And I'll write this in the bright orange here for some Tennessee. It's almost football season. So anybody, SEC fans here, what you got to look for here is one-offs. I'm going to put one-off. So, for example, the deal that we had in Franklin, what happened on that one is they had $85,000 of one-off income from home sales. Okay, they'd sold some homes apparently last year, and so they had $85,000 in one-off income that they had above the NOI. They should not have included that in the the P&L or the profit and loss statement. For us, because it's one-offs. We can't count on that. If it don't happen every year, if it's not residual income, it should not be up here. So that's something you need to look off, folks. So the big thing up here is look for one-offs. Anything that looks like a one-off income, you need to subtract that. Okay, so subtract that. Bam. On the NOI side, so say you got your income, your expenses, you pull out the one-offs. In our case, it was 85 grand, 85K in one-off. So we minus 85K. We had to pull that out, that income. Basically, you subtract it from your income is where you pull it out of. So this 85K, we pulled it off the income. So we were thinking we were like, Lord, I can't remember, but we pulled it out of the income. Then we subtracted our expenses, okay? Because they were showing this 85K in the regular income, which that was a one-off. So look for one-offs in your regular or in your above the NOI line. Now on the bottom NOI line, this should be to get this, your expenses should be reoccurring as well. Okay. And so what they had on us, they had below the NOI line. So down here, they had what did they do? They put in like tree trimming and some expenses there that were, they call them capital improvements, I guess is technically, or like capital expenditures, which I could kind of see it, but trees don't necessarily just go away. When you got 500 trees on a park, I think that's something that's going to be routine. You know what I mean? That's not something that's just going to be a one-off type of deal. But they had 3 or 4 different things below the NOI line. So therefore, when we said, hey, what's the NOI? Send us the NOI. They were saying, oh, it's 425,000 NOI. It's like, oh, okay, wow, that sounds great. Let's we're using that for our on our cap rate to basically figure up our purchase price. Was what we were doing. Well, once we dig into it and we see that under the NOI, you got this 425. Well, come to find out, oh, they've got this one-off. They've got this one-off tree trimming over here. Well, then they've got this, or they've got this tree trimming. Then they've got this other. What was it? It was tree trimming. It was some plumbing, I think. I know you probably can't see this, but it helps me anyway. 425. Then they minus the tree trimming. They minus the plumbing. They minus these little expenditures. Boom, 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 boom. So then we find out after we get the P&Ls and after we actually analyze all the numbers and we put things where they're supposed to be, the true NOI was more like 320, like 325, I think. There was like 100K. Worth of just random expenses that were under what we call under the NOI. So the NOI should be, here, and then the only thing you should have out of the NOI are these 2 things here. That should be the only additional items out of your NOI. But what they did is they had the NOI, the net operating income, which they were showing as 425 on the line item. But then, like I said, when we dig into it, you got tree trimming, you got plumbing, you got grass trimming, you got all these little expenses. And what that does is that fluffs that NOI. So two ways to fluff. Remember, the only way to affect an NOI is you can either make more money or you can decrease expenses, right? That's like a seesaw effect a lot of times. So the only way you can affect an NOI is income and expenses. So a lot of this stuff here that was under the NOI should have been put under the expenses. This income that they had under the or these one-off sales they had built into the income, which they should have pulled that out. They should have rolled these below the NOI expenses into the true expenses. That way our true NOI our true NOI would have showed to 325. And therefore, when we run the numbers, 100 grand may not sound like a lot, but 100 grand at a 6 cap, I mean, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That's $600,000. And so that's really roughly no, it's more than that. That's at 10 cap, 600,000. So even at a 10 cap at 600 grand. So, I mean, that's a lot. We were way off in our numbers. And so things to look for is look at what they're including in the income, right? Try to notice any one-offs, like if it says sale of a house or, something that's not routine. If you're not selling a house every month, then to me, it's hard to put into the income. So under income, look for one-offs and pull those out. Okay. Under expenses, look at your expenses. All right. But then, and get your NOI, but then look underneath there, see if they got any line items after the NOI, below the NOI, see if they've got anything that's showing underneath the NOI, because you need to pull those out and put them into the expenses. So therefore you can get your true NOI. Because remember, NOI, your net operating income, the only thing that should come out of after your NOI should be your debt payment. So your debt cost and your equity split pref cost, right? That's the only thing that should come out of there. That would leave you with a true net. So say 325 is our real number, our true NOI after we've done our math. Say our debt cost on that one would have been 20 grand a month. So what is that? 240 a year. And the LP split on this one, well, I don't even remember what it was. Say it was, let's just do simple math. Say it was a 10 pref, that'd be 10 pref at 2 million. Would that be 20,000 a year? Is that right? So 20,000 plus if we did a pref split, let's say 40 grand a year on, is that right? 40 grand, 2 million. Yeah. So say 40 grand a year. I don't know. Let's just do simple math here. So that leaves me with 280. So you take 325 minus your debt, minus your LP split. So you're left with, that's 280. Is that right? 283. So yeah, that's 45 grand. So that leaves the partnership. It leaves the partnership with $45,000 a year. And so then you take that, you still got to pull your operating, like a reserve account out of that. Say you pull half of it, that's 20,000. So now you've got your GP making 20 grand a year. All right. After you pay your debts. Well, when we first looked at this, it should have been 120 a year. See what I'm saying? Or well, you take this 100 here, put it down here, it's been 145,000 a year. Now you've got enough for your operating, your reserve account, operating account, paying, for the what if. You got to have the mishaps in there. So the operating, the reserves, and then still pay your GP partnership or whatever you need to out of that. So anyway, like I said, I just want to make a quick video. Things to look for. I think I did the title, something like Smell BS. The BS is going to be hidden in income as one-off income, or it's going to be hidden below the NOI as expenses. So anyway, that's the couple places that you can look for. If you have any questions, let me know. Holler at me after this thing's done, whatever. Shoot me a message. If you're an investor and you want to get in on some of these deals that we've got going on, let me know. Be happy to talk with you and put you in some of these deals. If you want to learn what I'm doing, I don't necessarily train a lot, but I do. I've been known to train some. So anyway, I'll be happy to help you and coach you and train you along the way. My motive for that would be to, if I can help you and teach you what to do and how to do it, then maybe, just maybe, you'll think of me whenever you find that smoking hot deal. So anyway, you guys take care. See you on the other side.